Kristianos! Ay mo ko! Kristianos!
Nasa isang kabilang ngiti ng katulad natin kanin. Isang araw din ay makakamtan sa isang magsisikap lahat magkakanan ng ibang hinahangat. Manali kong katulad na sa isang kapisilin may araw na sisikat din. Aking iniwin, aking papabilin, ang batong pag-asa ay muling papanawin. Amot naman lahat ito'y ating makakapnan. Pustos ang pagsisikap, pagbubuo isang pangalan. Sa isang bata may munting pig, ibig nais lang iparingin. Nais lang iparingin. Pag-alawag sa walang lahanan. Ang karunungan ay siyang mas mahalaga ng ibang hinahangat. Manali kong katulad na sa isang kapisilin may araw na sisikat din. Aking iniwin, aking papabilin, ang bagong pag-asa ay muling papanawin. Amot naman lahat ito'y ating makakapnan. Pustos ang pagsisikap, matutupad ang pangarap. Wala kang makakaharap, kahit pulos ay tumarap. Kasi pagkataas ng ating hawan. Ibig ng ating paglawan, patunay na ibarangan. Pangalan ko ay siyang matutupad, matutupad.
Halina't makinig sa akin, tamang kabalaran ang kahihinatnan natin. Bumukan sa iyong isipan, tagumpay na tatahakin. Isang pangarap na lubos, landas na iyong patutunguhan. Pangat na inaasam, di mapipigil ni numan. Maaabot lahat ng iyong inaasam. Kasipagan ng sabot, salat ka man sa kayamanan. Buksan ang pahina ng mga aklat ng karunungan. Edukasyon ating kailangan, ating iwanan. Peace!
Aking iniwin, aking papabilin,
Ating tanawin,
bagong pag-asa ay muling tatanawin.
kinabukasan pag-ibagin. Piliin mo gawin,
Pustos ang pagsisikap,
pag-asa ay yakapin.
isang
Edukasyon ang kayamanan ng kahit ninuman. Isang pangarap ang tutupad, pagsisikapan ng lahat.
pustos ang pagsisikap.
ako! Mexicanos!
Nasa isang kabilang ngiti ng katulad nating galing. Isang araw din ay makakamtan sa isang magsisikap lahat magkakataon ng ibang hinahangat. Manali kong katulad na sa isang nakisilim ay araw na sisikat din. Aking bibigay ang ipapabilin, ang batong pag-asa ay kaming tatanawin. Amot naway ang ako'y aking makakaktan. Pustos ang pagsisigaw, pagbubuo isang pangalan. Sa isang lingkid, ibinais ng iparinig. Nais ng iparinig. Pag-uwi sa walang lahanan. Ang karunungan ay siyang mas mahalaga. Ng ibang hinahanap, manali kong katulad na sa isang nakisilim ay araw na sisikat din. Aking bibigay ang ipapabilin, ang batong pag-asa ay muling tatanawin. Amot naway na ako'y aking makakaktan. Pustos ang pagsisigaw, matutupad ang pangarap. Walang ang makakaharap, kahit pulos ay tumarang. Sipag at tatas ng ating hawak. Labis ng ating paglaban, patunay na hinahanap. Pangalan ko ay siyang matutupad, matutupad.
Halina't makinig sa akin, tamang kabalaran ang kahihinatnan natin. Bumukal sa iyong isipan, tagumpay ng tatahakin. Isang pangarap na lubos, landas na iyong pagtutunguhan. Pangat na inaasam, di mapipigil ni Numan. Maaabot lahat ng iyong inaasam. Kasipagan ng sagot, salat ka man sa kayamanan. Buksan ang pahina ng mga aklat ng karunungan. Edukasyon ating kailangan, kamamangan ating iwanan. Please!
Ating piliparin, ang ipapabilin.
Ating tanawin,
Ang batong pag-asa ay muling tatanawin.
kinabukasan tagumpayin. Pilitin mo gawin,
Pustos ang pagsisigaw,
pag-asa ay yakapin.
isang
Edukasyon ang kayamanan ng kahit ninuman. Isang pangarap matutupad, magsisigawan ng lahat.
pustos ang pagsisigaw.
Kaya mo yun, kaibigan.
Mabubuo isang pangalan.
Sakay mo ako!
Nasa isang gabi ng itigil, ang katulad ating kahit. Isang araw din ay nakakamtan, sa isang magsisikap lahat magkakaroon. Ang ibang hinahangat, manali kong katulad na sa isang kapisilin may araw na sisikat din. Aking bibigay ang ipapabilin, ang batong pag-asa ay muling tatanawin. Ang magdamay na ako'y aking makakamtan, pustos ang pagsisikap, pag-ibig isang pangalan. Sa isang banda may munting piling, ibig nais nang iparinig. Pagkakalaman sa walang mahalan, ang karunungan ay siyang mas mahalaga. Ang ibang hinahangat, manali kong katulad na sa isang napisilin may araw na sisikat din. Aking bibigay ang ipapabilin, ang bagong pag-asa ay muling tatanawin. Ang magdamay na ako'y aking makakamtan, pustos ang pagsisikap, matutupad ang pangarap, nagagang makakaharap, kahit pulos ay dumarang, sipag at tatas ang ating hawak. Mabilis ang ating paglaban, patunay na ilangan, ilangan ko ay siyang matutupad, matutupad.
Halina't makinig sa akin, tamang kabalaran ang kahihinatnan natin. Bumukal sa iyong isipan, tagumpay na tatahakin. Isang pangarap na lubos, landas na iyong pagtutunguhan. Pangat na inaasam, di mapipigil ni Luman. Maaabot lahat, lahat ng iyong inaasam. Kasipagan ng sabot, salat ka man sa kayamanan. Buksan ang pahina ng mga aklat ng karunungan. Edukasyon ating kailangan, kamamangan ating iwanan. Peace!
Aking bibigay ang ipapabilin,
Ating tanawin,
bagong pag-asa ay muling tatanawin.
kinabukasan pag-ibayin. Pilitin mo gawin,
Pustos ang pagsisikap,
pag-asa ay yakapin. Edukasyon ang kayamanan ng kahit di naman. Isang pangarap matutupad, pagsisikapan ng lahat.
pustos ang pagsisikap,
Kaya mo yun, kaibigan.
mabubuo isang pangalan.
I am Mandawi, bringing the best. I am Mandawi, bringing the best. I am Mandawi, bringing the best. Ideal the pet Mandawi, bring the best in you and me.
To our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Nympha Janobongo, our Assistant Schools to our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Nympha D. Bongo, our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Leah B. Apaw, SGOD Chief, Dr. Adeline C. Luares, OIC CID Chief, Dr. Jaime Piroilan, Education Program Supervisors, Public Schools District Supervisors, Division Office personnel, to all our school heads, teachers, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant afternoon. In line with the department's goal in protecting and fulfilling the rights of a child anchored on the Convention on the Rights of Children, especially in times where community quarantine is currently imposed in our country, our division of Mandaue City has initiated ways to prepare the teachers, identified DepEd non-teaching personnel and parents in monitoring themselves, look after their wellness, and enable them to fulfill their respective duties and responsibilities in the education continuity. And so, friends, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the psychological first aid and psychosocial support for the school heads and teachers. To start, let us show allegiance to our country by singing the Philippine National Anthem, our regional hymn, and Mandaue hymn. After which, please remain standing as we seek divine intervention from our Almighty Father.
We pray for blessing, we pray for peace, comfort for family, protection while we sleep. We pray for healing, for prosperity. We pray for your mighty hand to ease our suffering. All the while, you hear his broken need. Your love is way too much to give us less a thing. What if your blessings come through raindrops? What if your healing comes through tears? What if 1,000 sleepless nights are what it takes to know you're near? What if none of this life, all your mercies in the sky?
We pray for wisdom,
your voice to hear. We cry in anger when we cannot feel you near. We doubt your goodness, we doubt your love, as if every promise of your word is not enough. You're the one, you hear each desperate plea. Long have we had faith to believe. 'Cause what if your blessings come through raindrops? What if your healing comes through tears? What if the thousands sleepless nights are what it takes to know your name? What if just of this life, all your mercies in the sky?
when friends betray us,
When darkness seems to win, we know
despair reminds this heart that this is not our home.
it's not a home. 'Cause what if your blessings come through raindrops? What if your healing comes through tears? What if the thousands sleepless nights are what it takes to know you're near? What if the greatest disappointment or the aching of this life is the revealing of a greater thirst the world can't satisfy? What if Christ of this life can rain the storms, the hardest nights, all your mercies in the sky?
Bayang mamimig, sa silangan, harap ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hirang, kuya ka lang makikita, sa manlulungin, di ka masisiyan, sa nagkakapundok, sa sinulan, sa langit mong baba, maliyak ang ulan, awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang isang kang watawat ng kami, kailan nagbibigay, ang bituin at araw niyang kailang kamay di makilig, lupa ng araw-araw, at ipasin ka, buhay namin sa piling mo. Maghiligaya na kapay magkakapit, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Isang yaw nato ang bugos nga kalipay, tungod sa panalangin nga gikan sa Dios. Kinadan-agan tas kahaya kabilihon, kanit iti pulihan sa kahibalo. Mga tigulang o batanong lungsuranon, kahigayunan ang gihatag sa tanan. Pagkapot sa tinaguan, dambong gihamin sa ilang mga dughan, paglambo sa tanan. atong kagamhanan may dakong tinguha. Sa kalikunan sa nasudnon tanghihan, ginagukod ang nagtinguhag kalaglagan, batanon giampingan gipanalipdan, ug ang tanang mamumuo giayudahan, gitun-an sa pagtugang sa ilang abot, pagkapot sa kaharuhay, upamuyong luwas sa tumang kalisod, usap na ang tanan. Uluhaton mahimo sa balay, makwartahan man at tungkugihan, ug ang pag-alam sa kabataan man, inatudlo sa atong kamamayan, maukiling buhat sa tunghaan, sa ikapitong reyong Bisaya, nga naglangkop sa Bohol ug sa Cebu, Negros Oriental, Siquijor kining tanan.
Mandawi ang among dakbayan, garbo alang sa tanan. Naghulagway sa kalampusan, pasalig nga natuman. Ang katahong ug kadungganan, hiyas nga giampingan. Ang dapit sa kahimayaan, angay nga panig-ingnan. Pagkatamis nga litukon, sa ngalan mong madanihon. Bituon kang masilakon, ning atong bagong panahon. Kabantog o kasulundon, ngiti nga among panggaon. Hangtod sa kamatayon among mahalon, mandawi nga bililhon. Pagkatamis nga litukon, sa ngalan mong madanihon. Bituon kang masilakon, ning atong bagong panahon. Kabantog o kasulundon, ngiti nga among panggaon. Hangtod sa kamatayon among mahalon, mandawi nga bililhon.
You may now take your seats. Despite everyone's busy schedules, because others are distributing and retrieving modules, while others are also preparing their documents for the school evaluation on ESIP, SBM, and OPCRF, we are still able to find time to attend this activity, and we all deserve a round of applause for that. So thank you very much for being with us this afternoon. Let's get to know who are with us this afternoon, okay? So to do the attendance check, please welcome our Senior Education Program Specialist for Social Mobilization and Networking, Dr. Mylene S. Ordelia.
To our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Nymphadi Bongo, our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Leia B. Apau, SGOD Chief, Dr. Adeline C. Loares, CID Chief, Dr. Jaime P. Roylan, our XDRs, PSDSS, school heads, teachers, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Dr. Bongo, I have the honor to present to you our participants this afternoon. Kindly, dear participants, please type your district, underscore, the name of your school, underscore, your name. We will monitor your attendance this afternoon so that we can present this to our regional and national office. Thank you so much and God bless you all.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Mai. That was really a very quick attendance check. So I hope you're able to get that. Just make sure that you type in your names and your schools in the chat box, okay, so that we will be able to know that you are with us this afternoon. Now, in a book entitled Mariah Makes a Friend by Laura Monteiro, she said it only takes one cat or person to make another feel welcome and special. To make us feel special and welcome this afternoon and to give her welcome message, please put your hands together. Let us hear it from our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Nympha Jano Bongo.
Thank you, Mr. Arnell, our ever smiling and MC for all season. So good afternoon, everyone. So first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Mylene Ordelia for coming up with this activity with her, and also the CID Chief, Dr. Adeline Luarez, and to all who are in attendance this afternoon, and also to our speaker who will be introduced, who will be properly introduced later. Thank you for sharing to us your time and your talent for the benefit of our school children in Mandawi City. So we all know that we are in this pandemic and we feel very stressed, no, of the happening in our community, and we all need this webinar, and I hope that we will be able to attain the objectives of this webinar. So at this point, I would like to welcome everyone to this webinar. Welcome, enjoy, and have a productive afternoon. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Once again, our Division Schools Superintendent, Dr. Nympha D. Bongo. Let's give Ma'am Nympha virtual clap. Thank you very much, ma'am. So now let me introduce to you our speaker this afternoon. She finished her Doctor of Philosophy major in clinical psychology in the year 2014 at Silliman University. She finished her Doctor in Management major in Human Resources Management in the year 2007 at the University of San Jose Recoletos. She also had her Master of Arts major in Organizational and Industrial Psychology at the same university, finished it in the year 1999. Her Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education major in Early Childhood Education was finished at the Cebu Institute of Technology University in the year 2010. But she also has her Bachelor of Arts in Psychology at the University of San Jose Recoletos in the year 1997. Currently, she's the founder of clinical psychologist MindPro Psychological Services from March 2015 up to the present. She's the founder, school administrator of MAC Learning Center, a Montessori preschool. She was the chair of the Department of Humanities and Behavioral Sciences of Cebu Institute of Technology University, head of Community Extension Services at the same university, and was also a full-time faculty member in the same university. She was a human resource director of Cebu Eastern College from the years 2007 up until 2008. She's a sales trainer and a human resource manager of the Tinderbox. She is an author of journals, books, and other references. She has conducted several trainings and seminars. She's a registered psychologist, a practitioner of solution-focused brief therapy. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our speaker this afternoon, Dr. Michelle Abelia Siliona.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone. Dr. Ardelia, thank you so much for this invitation. Sir Arnel, that was really a very generous introduction to Dr. Bongo. Thank you so much for having me here to conduct the webinar to the team. All right, let me start. So I hope the slideshow is already being presented. All right, so the session that I am asked to really give inputs to is the psychological first aid. So at first I was thinking, how is it done? No, when it comes to psychological first aid, it is something that you need to be giving to people who have direct experience bitaw of a flood or of a kind of a disaster, ana ba? So when Dr. Ardelia told me about it, about the expectations, then I have come up with this. So even if it's only webinar, I hope we can maximize your learnings here. So it has already been introduced to you about my affiliation. So I will proceed to the third slide. So let me have the time to give you a moment lang, not to introduce our clinic. So the services we offered are counseling and psychological therapy. Also, we have psychological testing for neuropsychological tests, also pre-employment, for re-enlistment, or for promotion. We also have organizational coaching, psychological evaluation for adoption, also child custody, and annulment cases. We also provide training and workshops or seminars to different organizations. Now, these are the following personality and capacity building workshops that we give, and those are actually being perceived by the participants that have been very helpful in guiding them to live a life that is really meaningful. Now, we also have, I would like to invite you also to to check our YouTube page, the Mind Pro Cebu, because we also have recorded there as a video as to how to deal with concerns like coping with depression, anxiety, with stress-free parenting, and so on. So our YouTube channel may be also be of help to you, especially when you really are having concerns related to what we have already covered in the videos. So you can browse it to the next slide also. So hope you can like it, and you can also subscribe. Now, let's proceed. Now, the authors, Pockrell as well as Shetry in 2021 stated that COVID-19 pandemic has created the largest disruption of education, affecting nearly 1.6 billion learners in more than 200 countries. Social distancing and restrictive movement of policies have significantly disturbed traditional educational practices. So there are challenges, common challenges, because of the new learning modality. Let us start with the distribution and collection of modules. So this is really new. This started during the pandemic. So ang distribution sa modules as well as the collection will also pose a challenge to teachers, because you really have to go out from your classrooms or from where you are situated just to distribute, and also the ibora ng ibutang din ha, pero you also have to make follow-ups as to nakuha ba gyud and so on, and then the collection also na ay na-distribute pero dili dayon mabalik. So that's a challenge. Another, checking of students' outputs, diba? So it's also a job that of course all teachers should do, no, especially sa kaninga nga modality. So ang checking of outputs will also require time. We also have to require about kind of understanding of what the students are trying to to emphasize. Okay? Another is kanang level of parental support. Grabe kay naka-challenge sa mga teachers also. Why? Because there are parents makadungog ko bas mga silingan no kana moadto kog mga lugar no nga busy kay ang mga parents nga ni answer sa module silang mga anak. I understand the teachers are really encouraging the parents mga mother no kanang pwede bag sila lang ang mo kuan ang mo tudlo. I mean sila lang ang mo answer pero again parents overly involved kaayo sa mga bata nagi tendency para madali kay daghan pa sa trabaho nga they will be the ones to do it. Uban ang mga ate, di ba? Naapoy on the extreme level nga di gyud wa gi monitoring with the students. So magunsa na lang ba ang turnout bitaw of the learners learning the process may be less. Kay we do not really know exactly whether ang mga bata sa diha nag-answer sila ba gyud or nasabtan ba maski pag dili sila or sila ang nag-answer. So that is also a challenge. Another is evaluation of students' learning. Of course, because we do not know exactly to what extent the learners have learned. So mao na ang the evaluation of students' learning may also pose a challenge to all of you. All right? Now, another is overwhelming responsibilities at this time of pandemic. Of course, wag tuo ang mga webinars, no? Naay uban niya, naay time siguro nga magdungan. So how will you be able to manage these overwhelming responsibilities at this time of pandemic? And the responsibilities also doesn't only kanabitang about being a teacher, but also maybe you also have other roles, no, in the academia nga you also perform other than being a teacher to your students. All right? Now, another is that there is internet issue. I heard na ay few groups of students nga nag-online. Okay? Ang mga teachers, especially katong naa sa science high, no, and so on. So, kana, internet issue is also one of the concern that the teachers are facing. Another, the virtual classroom management is also not very easy to handle, especially when you go online. Another is, okay, let's proceed to the next slide. So other than the overwhelming responsibilities at this time of pandemic, again, there is an internet issue. Let's proceed to the next. Also the virtual classroom management, and then let's proceed to the next. Now, with all those challenges, how can you establish human connection in a compassionate and non-intrusive way? So how can that be? I understand that the teachers have tried to be compassionate, tried not to be intrusive, no, sa inyong mga ways ba. So you also have made efforts to give to your students and to the parents also. But then how can you be compassionate? Number one there is doing the extra mile. Okay, so what is meant, how can we demonstrate, articulate doing the extra mile? Number one is evaluate students' performance thoroughly through the module submitted. Example, tanawa ko no if there are really consistency of scores, para at least kay baw ka ba nga kaning bata unsa di ay ni siya, no? Unsa man is this performing nga na-improve ang iyang performance or getting kanang low performance na gid towards the end of the session. So it's really good nga ma-focus pud ba para at least makita ninyo as to kinsa man ang mga bata nga that really needs follow up and who are these parents nga needs also to be told nga the children need help. Okay, so what other way to do the extra mile? I hope this is doable. This is not this is just a suggestion. Okay, so how do you do this? Reach out to at least 2 to 3 students and parents a day. It could be online, okay, kanang online or phone lang. And then ang personal, what I meant by this is that basin dool ra sa inyo ha na pwede nimong maistoryahan ba, because sa ako ang practice, ako ang pagka-psychologist dito sa clinic, no, I have seen students gyud nga who have really having difficulty understanding the concepts. Okay, not so much or no intervention coming from the parents at home. So pangutan-a lang niya, ang teachers ba, grabe kini ka-influential sa mga bata. Munang kung mo ingon ka nga example si Juliet Jewel, ay kuan ba ka nang nakabantay ko doy kanang wala na lagi ka ay tubag imong mga module imo rang gi-submit na unsa man ka kanang ana ba nya kinsa may mutabang nimo dinha. So kana siya is already doing it in a compassionate manner and non-intrusive way. So to reinforce on that, naamo ni siya akong next nga suggestion, use kind and motivating words. Meaning to say, there are times when kana bang nagtuot ang joke lang ba, pero ang level man god of sensitivity sa atong estudyante also differs. Example, maingon ta, makakita ta nga, ops, wa na ka mo kuan ha, wa na kay tubag-tubag ha, gasigi na lang pug kagkiat no. Siguro joke ra na no para at least ba kana lighter ang kuan ang iyahang mood, but then remember that might be perceived as an attack. So kinder words mean nga kana bang kana unsa naman ka unsa man ngano man ni siyang naingon ani man ni siya nga suppose before baya ingon ani imong performance, what happened to you man, because delivery of words matters. You need to say kanang motivating words would also be kaya raman gyud kaayo basta imo lang yung sugdan. If ever gani na ay lisod kinsa may pwedeng makatabang kanang ingon ana bitaw dako kaayo na og impact sa mga estudyante, especially those students na wala gid intay nagmonitor, feeling abandoned, feeling neglected, feeling gipasagdan lang. Now, when a teacher can identify these students, I tell you, you are creating an impact to the lives of these students who felt and convinced already that nobody cares. That's extending compassion. And also be considerate. But then put also a limit to being considerate, because because it's not also all the time you also have to wait for that module to be submitted niya. Mahuma na ang term. Okay? Mahuma na ang school year. So, but then with your being considerate, it has also be coupled with your behaviors bitaw, your intervention as a teacher as to how can you possibly connect with the students so that they could also become motivated as to getting their goals, because this is the only way to make improvements in ilang life. All right, so kana. And then another is that for school heads, okay, for school heads, I suggest nga school heads will also suggest to create peer group within your school where teachers can express their experiences with students and parents. Nga kanang peer group lang ba, group of 5 lang, sa grupo-grupo lang and so on, or 10 ba, nya clustering lang, or unsa ba per level lang, nya clustering lang as to what transpired sa inyong gathering and so on, para mag-discuss ba kay there are times when ang experience bitaw sa mga teachers kana mga bloopers ba no in the distribution and collection of the modules, when you talk to the parents na unsa ba at least ba na ay kataw-an na ay aligri na ay nakapa-embarrass, you share that so that each one can contribute to making yourselves happy even with this pandemic. Second is that there are times when listening to people's experiences will help us also do what we can do, just like what they did that helped in the process of becoming compassionate also. Kana siya. Another is that maintain weekly, if not monthly check-ins. I am calling it check-ins ba, among the teachers and school personnel to keep in touch with or develop their soft skill. Why? Because soft skills have to be monitored also, especially this time nga there is pandemic. Kaya ang soft skill, base na hardened na siya ba? Why? Because wala kaayoy follow up, wala kaayoy kanabitong nangumusta, unya siguro maikog pug ka, mo share. So, mo na siya nga, kana hopefully the school heads will also be kanabitong into that, kay para at least ma-address yun, not just the problems that they have in relation to their job, but also the problems they are having in relation to the performance of their roles other than work related. Kaya I understand nga work raman gid siya, no? Pero remember that once you are affected by the family issues, personal concerns that you are having bitaw nga unprocessed ba, ma-affected gid ang imuhang delivery of your performance. Okay? That is why in here, I would like to remind everyone that everyone needs social engagement to maintain his or her mental health. Even the school heads, daghan kaayog mga meetings and so on, di ba? So, mao na nga for you to have the psychological first aid and social support. The intention of this webinar also is to let you realize how important it is to capacitate yourself to be the ones minding yourself what you need and what needs to be done. Again, as the pandemic stretches, I was thinking at the time no nga, months ra ni, nilapas na magtuig, eh. So, taas na ba? So you must also continue to be creative to think of ways to take care of ourselves. So, for you to provide social support, psychological first aid, i-aid sa nato ato ang self. How are we already in the performance of our roles, not just a teacher, but also someone giving meaningful existence to people around us? Okay? So, unsa man ni siya? Number one is that practice paying attention to what your body needs. It's very important. So, what do your body needs? Nutritious food. Kay unsa may i-supply niya sa brain, kung gasigi lang pug kag diet nga dili na lang kang mukaon mo tiurok ka. Okay? So possibilities, the more ba ka maayong kag di ka mukaon, no, the more ka gutumon. So may pa maayong kag mukaon gyud ka pero with limitation. So instead of eating one cup of rice siguro no kauban sa imong mga sudan, at least na alang imo alang buhaton nga half lang. So again, nutritious food is really good to maintain ba. Yung unsa ra ba ning kinahanglan sa lawas, mura man ni way lami, no? Na ay uban nato nga wala maanad ba. Good thing for those of you nga naanad na. Pero for those of you nga di gid mo kaunuutan, mo na according to my other clients, muutong ra gyud ko dok, unya paggahuman muutong ra gyud ko, then I push it with water. Minana ilaha, because it's good to have that. And then also healthy sleeping patterns. Of course, when you become problematic, dili gid nimo ma-enjoy ang imuhang sleep. Dili gid nindot ang imuhang sleep. How will you be able to test it? Kanang mata nimo galuya lang gihapon ka, meaning you never had a good sleep. Okay? Now, another exercise is very important. Next is give yourself a break. That's the next slide already. So, giving yourself a break means you will spending time for yourself to have your me time. Kay ikaw ang puhunan. So meaning to say, giving yourself a break means thinking, okay, nga muginhawa ka, inhale, exhale. Meditation is also very important. Meditation would be as simple as breathing in, pause, no, breathing in, budako ang tiyan. Unya, pause and then breathe out using your mouth. Mugamay ang tiyan. Kana lang. And then just feel your breathing. So, importante kaayo na siya nga naa kay break. No? I had a client yesterday, ingon siya nga, ay sus dok, di gyud ko kahimo ana. So, way pulo sa nga to ang pakigbisog nga ma-okay ka kung you do not really have time for yourself. So, the decision to be aided psychologically is also the decision to find time for yourself. Even a 10-minute break for yourself. Okay? Kana bang no IQ requirement ba? Ikaw lang. Ang uban, magtanga lang. Tan-o ra kas bongbong. And it's okay. Ay, nagstoryahing bongbong. Pero, kung di ginato malikayan, hala pakigistorya. Ayaw pakitag tao, okay, no? Lain na inilahang tanaw nimo. Basta ang point is, give yourself a break, tiyong gamay, meditate. That's very important. Okay? Now, another. Identify your strengths and build on the areas that need to be enhanced. Why? Because we all have our strengths. We also have our areas that need to be enhanced, to be improved. We call it maybe a weakness. But that doesn't mean just because you have a weakness, you are not enough. You are enough, only that you need to enhance on some areas of your life. And I think it is humbling experience that you are able to identify what needs to be done with yourself, especially that no matter how you tried it, it doesn't work, meaning there is a need for you to change your behavior. All right, now another, make time for journaling. Now, other people would say, Doc, I cannot sleep because I am always confronted with problems, especially at night time. Nga mingaw na kaayo niya, mahadlok siya ko, Doc. So I am asking them, nga you might have been running away from your problems. Mo nang the problems continue to haunt you. So my suggestion is, bring them in and then let them be out from your system by writing them down. That's the expression of letting them out. So write them, entertain them. Okay? Kung katong mga kaya. Ang dili kaya, have someone to be with you. Especially kung dili kang katong. Isuwat tanan, nga kung unsa may nakabother din ha. And then you try to think about it as to, now that you know that these are the problems that really bother you, what can you do about it? When you start to ask yourself, what can you do about it? You transition yourself from problematic state to a solution state. And once you are already in the solution state, think of what you can do. Do not entertain what ifs, do not entertain buts, or do not entertain I don't know nga mga ideas. Just let it flow. What can you do about it? Now, kitang mga Pinoy, dili kaayo ta into writing kaayo kay we wanted really to express it to people. Kay naa mo mga tao available gid for them to listen to us. Di kayo ta ingon ana ba? Pero once ka journal ta, usually ato nang i-paragraph form, gagalagot ko because of this and that niya, bantay lang gid ni and so on so forth. Ana ba nga I am really frustrated because of this and that. And examine, you only expressed your thoughts and your emotions. Check ko na your journal. Are there solutions? Because if wala siya solution, that may not be as helpful as expected for journaling. Maobitaw na siya nga, because of this idea, bitaw nga, kana bang ingon ani na bitaw ta nga murag mo journal ra ta kung sa about emotions and thoughts ra. So I would think and I would say that you try to make time for journaling, because if not, you might be sad. Okay, next slide please. Being sad means you might be stressed out. Stressed out not because of the existence of what makes you stressed out, but it's the thought that this particular condition or thing is stressing you out. And then, if the stress is overwhelming, there is a possibility that stress will develop to anxiety. Remember that stress is something external. Kanang naa ba? Present. Anxiety is internal, meaning to say, it's just there. Naara siya, internal siya. Even when wala kay stressor din ha, you become anxious, di ka mapakali, di ka mahimutang. Because that is something very internal. And then, kanisang anxiety is actually related to, or is the fear of the future. Kana gani, pwede manginang di mahitabo, nahadlok lang ka, moonang because you are so afraid of that particular condition or thing to happen, there is possibility that your behaviors will be formed geared towards having that feared condition. And you know, if anxiety is not really helped and it becomes overwhelming, that might turn into depression, which is a severe condition. All right, now let's proceed to the next slide. Okay, that's it. Next slide, please. Okay, remember that we all need to address these mental health issues before stress will turn into anxiety, and anxiety will turn into depression. So there is a call address it. Remember that taking care of the self is the manifestation of self-love. All right? Now, can you proceed to the next? That is why, as a psychologist ba, I have conceptualized journals. Kani nga journal no na draft ni siya ug na finalize karon lang 2021 because when the pandemic started, grabe kaayo ang stress, ang anxiety and depression nga nakadisturb to a lot of people. So, not all people can have the capacity no to submit themselves to psychological therapy. Number one, because of distance. Number two, fear nga kung mo-travel sila, basin ma-infected sila to COVID. Third, financial constraints. Of course, when you submit yourself to psychological therapy, naamagid na siya kanang pay, no? Especially when you will be asking for the service of a private practitioner like me. So, mo na nakamugna ko og journal nga if you are stressed out, sa conquering stress ng mga journal, there is an anxiety and so on, naa siya assessment tool, okay, to identify what is causing you to be stressed out. Unya, pagtan-aw nimo nga unsa na imong level of stress. So, naa day mga follow-up questions. Why? Because para ma-focus mo on how to process your thoughts with the guide of the journal. Because again, let us go away from journaling focused only on the expression of thoughts of emotions lang. Kani nga journaling is to focus on your thoughts and emotions and what can you do about it. So those are the sample prompts of the conquering stress. Another sa anxiety, next slide please. When it comes to anxiety, that's defeating anxiety. There is also a kuan kana bang an assessment ba nga unsa day imong level of anxiety na and what are causing you to be anxious. So dinha sad. Nya from there, if your level of anxiety is this, what can you do about it? So naa din hapod from the physical aspect to mental aspect. Because remember that physical kind of interventions is not the only cure to anxiety. Makalesen siya ha, but it doesn't just cure anxiety because anxiety is something mental. Muna, it's very important nga naagid tay physical aspect like exercise, eating healthy, atong sleep pattern, no, atong i-check, and also the eating pattern also nga regulated siya, the fruits and vegetables, ana ba importante na siya ha. But then again, it is also as important as the physical health is the mental health. Muna, we need to process it because it's the mental that is causing you so much anxiety. So, mao na siya nga na anxiety. Proceed to the next slide, please. Now, naapod tay overcoming depression. I think I have 5 cases na gibutang din na sa overcoming depression that would let you realize ba nga you are not alone in the journey. Naapod ni sila. And how were they able to do it? Solving it. Because therapy is not getting rid of the problem. This is dealing with the problem. Management ang ato ang focus ani niya because stress is an everyday experience. It is unavoidable. And when it becomes a problem, that is your reaction to that stress. And if it is becoming a problem already, naaji pwedeng mabuhat ana other than suicide. Okay? So kana siya no. Then another, that's overcoming depression. Okay? There is also this journal about self-love. There is a way of loving the self. Mo nang giabutang din ha sa self-love na ay assessment din ha nga checking bitaw what is your temperament, unsa di ka nga klase nga tao, so that you will know ba nga ay because I am this, I have these natural tendencies. And when you are to check on that, especially the result, you can also validate bangala akong mama ingon ani, akong papa ingon ani, my husband is like this, my wife is this, so how am I going to deal with them? So ana man na siya. Alright, so naa din na sa self-love also kanang checking your level of emotional intelligence. Naapoy multiple intelligences. So hopefully, kung naa man gani mo ani nga journal, maka-check pod mo ba nga why are you happy when you are doing this? Maybe that is because it has been inclined to what you really are interested in. So naa din ha ang imong level of happiness, level of discipline sa imong self, naapod gina-check din ha sa journals. Proceed to the next slide, please. Next, these are the sample prompts, and then we also have other, next please, okay? We have other journals nga, daghan na pod ang ni-ask about it. Naami journal for moms. Kanang journal for moms is actually what have what have you become from the experience you had. Diba? So unsa man ka nga klase nga pagkamama, what did you experience in the past bringing you now at the present moment as the kind of mother you are to your children. Yeah, we also have the Secrets Untold. Kana Secrets Untold is actually a journal about kana bang mga secrets bitaw nga embarrassing moment nimo, you have been so ridiculed siguro, embarrassed and so on. So that's very good that you will be able to make yourself aware ba nga stop running. I think this is the time already to confront it ba nga that has occurred. And that will never occur because you are already in a state where you can maturely decide as to what is best for you. Okay? So, maunang na ay mga journals because this is to guide you ba. We also have parenting books, no? Nga at least kamong mga mama, nakahibaw mo ba as to how will you be able to deal with your children? You want to know what's inside the mind of your children? We have the manual, you have guide questions there so that you will be able to know ba what is going on in their heads, especially sa imuhang gagmay nga mga bata. Alright? Now, remember that, next slide please. Another way to really become compassionate and to provide psychological first aid and support to people is to reach out to people. Why? Because you will never know to what extent have you learned from our sessions today or sessions in the past ninyo if you will not try it yourself. Reach out to people, whoever they are, so long as you know them. And even if you do not know them, if there is an opportunity to reach them out or they reach you out, then converse and establish connection. That is also becoming compassionate. Next is, okay, never be ashamed to seek professional help. Example, di na nagpasabot na just because you will go to a psychologist, buang ka. It is never true. There are just coping mechanisms that your coping mechanisms do not work anymore. That is why you need new. Kanang nagproblema ka sa family, like imong husband, imong parents, away ba, or wa kay uyab, or unsa ba na din ha. Guys, I tell you, kani silang tanan, pwede mong good ni siya because there are certain issues in your life that you may not have confronted yet. Mauna nga, it has to be processed, and if it is not really helpful, nga you have it processed yourself or by other people, then seek professional help just for you to be guided and for you to learn bitaw new coping mechanism. Right? So it's very important. By the way, our journals are really available in our FB page and Shopee. And then this mo na siya amo ang contact details. Now, I am making this session shorter because I would like to really focus on what is it that you like to know about psychological first aid and providing psychological support or social support to students and to teachers and to the whole community in the academe and outside. I am ready for the questions already. Sir Arnel? Yes, Sir Arnel? Are there questions now? We will entertain.
So we will now, thank you very much, Doc Mitch. We will now be entertaining questions. If you'd like to ask some questions or if you have things to clarify, please type it in the comment section of Facebook or YouTube. So we'll be flashing the questions once you are done posting your questions. I know that our teachers right now are distributing modules, or some are retrieving the modules, and some schools are still being evaluated by our supervisors and division office personnel. But I know you still have the time to ask the questions. I know you really have a great time hearing Doc Mitch. So let us hear your comments or your questions. If you'd like to share something, you may type it in our chat, in our comment section. So if you have questions.
Okay, so I think just to while waiting for
Doc
the
Mitch, I believe one of the things that you suggested was on the trying to have small groups or of peers in the schools, right?
Mhm.
I believe each year level has their grade leaders, so I guess they can also have that. And during their LAC sessions, they can share their experiences, share their problems, right?
And not just the problems, also, huh? Also the
And some are
cherished
also doing
moments.
TikTok, by the way.
Yes, that is to unwind also, no, from the monotony ba of teaching, of performing your roles. It's also very important that you have alternative activities.
So, Mamay, would you like to ask some questions? Do you have questions in the chat box from our Adapa School chat box or from the PSDSS chat box? In case they would like not to show their questions on FB, they can also use our chat box in the group chats.
Okay, so
Or if you
Arnel,
would
while
like to
waiting.
have a private message with Doc Mai, you can also do that. I cannot check with my phone because we're using our phone right now, my phone right now for the recording or for the live.
Yes, while waiting for the question, Sir Arnel, can I also insert something?
Okay, so there is a question.
Mm-hmm.
I could not see the question. Okay, from
Yeah, I can
Sir
see it.
Jolie Canoy, what is the best way to do away with depression?
All right.
Sir Canoy is the
Okay.
principal of Pupao Elementary School.
Okay, thank you for that, huh? Now, how are you going to get away with the depression? Number one is try to check on your level of stress. Okay? So what are stressing you? Okay, it's a process. It started with stress level. If you are so stressed, then look at it. How can you possibly do something about it? Identify if you can control it or it's beyond your control. If it is beyond your control, you have to do something that will not be so that you will not be so much affected to. And if this is something within your control, then do something about it by, for example, thinking, what can you do to address that? So kung example, wa kay kwarta. O, di ba? So what have you done already para naa kay kwarta? And then nangutang ka, natanawa sad to. Are those things that you have done makatabang ba or nakasamot? Kana siya ha? Okay. So meaning, my point is, you have to let yourself identify ba what is causing that. Kay if ang stress mong good dili na siya overwhelming, di na siya mo lead into serious nga condition nga mo develop siya into anxiety, then ma-depression siya. Now, if for example, depression is already there, what can you do? Number one, kung kaya, change behaviors. What is it that you change? Lifestyle. Okay? Example, unsa man, check ko na your eating pattern. Check your sleeping pattern. Tanawa, basin ba? You can no longer think well because you are not also sleeping well. Kay nagsige na ka gadget, maabta na kag kadlawon. Now, if for example aning kamot na ka og makatug og sakto di lang gihapon ka katug, ayog pug sa imong self. Think. That is why na journaling. Get a pen and a notebook. Write everything that bother you, and then from writing, enumerate, not in paragraph form. And then get something there, and then ask, what can you do about it? Now, again, if for example, ang depression is so serious already, you need to talk to a psychologist and a psychiatrist. Good. Okay? Okay, they can guide you ba to address whatever is it that is causing you that condition. I hope, sir, that answers the question.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ma'am Mitch. There is another question, ma'am, from a teacher of Labugon Elementary School, Ma'am June Asingwa. Ma'am, how can we validate someone who said she will do suicide?
Okay. I don't think you will have to validate. Okay. When someone is telling you that she or he will commit suicide, it's good to talk to the person. Second, inform the loved ones. Okay? To monitor. Why? Because kanang misulti nga mag-suicide, call na siya for help. Telling you indirectly nga she has a problem and she doesn't know what she can do. So ask, not validating, but then ask, how come naabot sa iyang one of the choices ang suicide? So again, ask also, in what way can this person be helped? And then also try to let the person that you are interested of helping her or him, and then just let him know or her know nga naa ka. Ayaw kalimot inform the loved ones. Ang pamilya importante kaayo. Nga mo-monitor sila, unya listening to this person suffering from whatever condition they are having, no, nga mo result to suicide ba. Inform them, i-monitor, talking to that person, listening to them, and then talking again, and then asking questions may pacify the thoughts of suicide. I hope that
Thank you
answers
very
the
much,
question.
Ma'am Mitch. Okay, do we have other questions? Any follow-up questions or clarifications? Okay, how about for those teachers, Miss? Doc, I know that the online yoga tutorials or yoga sessions can also be of help to help them with their mental problems. Do we have an online site or that you could recommend?
Actually, as far as that is concerned, there are a lot of apps already. I cannot really specifically recommend one, kaya you might not like, no, kanang their presentations and so on. Ma-Zumba siya, ma-exercise siya, ma-yoga siya, whatever it is that are really self-help, considered as self-help materials. Go get it, follow it, because again, if the intention is really healing, diba? If there's a will, there will always be a way. So if the recognition man that there is a problem is already considered nga ang problem is half solved. So what you can do now is to act on the solution of the problem. So again, identify what is causing you that condition. And it's okay that you failed siguro in the past. It's okay that you are not loved by the person. It's okay that your family is not as perfect as the family of your friend. Diba? Kaya these are beyond your control. It's okay nga naa ka sa section nga dili tanan bright. It's okay nga naa ka sa section nga tanang bata bright. Ana ba? Because you just have to recognize now you cannot do all perfectly. Now, there are times when we get tested by how far have we known ourselves and how far we have known the scope of our job. And if there is a time when we can be corrected, hopefully it's a humbling experience ba nga we need to do something about it to enhance pa our knowledge because every day is a learning experience. For those of you who got insulted by the words of other people, it's not about you, it's about them. And the challenge is, what can you do about it? You can prove them wrong by being kind to yourself and kind to others.
Yeah, that's what Cinderella said. Be courageous and kind. Now, in addition, in connection with that, Doc Mitch, I have seen some posts of teachers who are posting some problems, some of their conflicts in different places. Like it may not be in the school, it may be about their families, about their other extra jobs, or some encounters that they had on streets, and they're posting that on Facebook. Do you think that would be very helpful, posting them? And how can we
No.
possibly help them if these problems are posted online?
Okay. It's not good to post our sentiments, especially kung negative kaayo siya on Facebook. And second, it's not also good to click like, okay, to this kanang posts nga grabe ka negative. What is helpful is connect to someone whom you trust and whom you trust that your secrets are safe. Okay? Because you don't have to let people know what's going on inside you. Because the more you post negativities on your Facebook page, the more people will know you, not the person you are trying to get into. Okay, so again, this is a reflection of what kind of a person you are and to what level you can handle these concerns. So, if you want to have a healthy healing of whatever pain you have, ask someone to listen to you. Of course, sa inyong pagka-teachers, daghan na kayo magnahimong friends. And even when you only have one friend or two, you could always ask them to listen to you so that you will have someone ba nga maka-express ka yourselves to. Now, kung moingon gyud ka nga wala gyud kay friend and so on, that's very sad, no? Mao na nga because you have identified it, it's time siguro nga you will have to identify ba what can you do so that you will be able to have networks. All right? And then once na anak ka ana, adto na siya isulti, ayaw sa Facebook. Now, kung naka-post na, kay mao na ginaimong nakahinaimong kinaiya, aw i-erase to para wa nay history. Okay? But then again, basta na ay problema ni bisan kinsa, talk it out to someone if you are not yet ready to talk to the right person. That's the best way to deal with the problem and not just making people all over the world learn about it. Okay, they will not be learning about the other person, they will be learning about you. Nya lisod kaayo kung teacher ang mohimo. Okay, that is so discouraging and that might also be followed. Okay? I hope that answers the question, sir.
Thank you, Doc. In connection to that, this is my personal question. I am always browsing Facebook, and I really love looking at Facebook posts. But sometimes I'm bothered with the posts of those who are changing their profile to black or changing it to candles because there's another post that somebody dies in the family or their friend dies. And in as much I wanted to get rid of Facebook, but I would not like to get rid of it because that's also helpful. Communication in our workplace is also done through Facebook, and we're sharing information through Facebook. So what can I possibly do, Doc, with this one?
The question is, I'm sorry, Sir Arnel, ha?
Yeah.
Someone
I'd like
is
to. I don't know really what to do because I know I'd like checking on Facebook. But sometimes
Mm.
I'm really bothered with those posts because sunod-sunod pag sa doc nga, may namatay, nga. Sunod na sa nag-change of profile kay na silang namatay.
Yeah.
Ano ba? Or succeeding and it's quite bothering.
Mm. So, well, if you continue to browse your Facebook, you will really be exposed to this. Okay? Mao na nga if kuan gani kana bang sobra na overwhelming na nimo, you may also make decision ba nga pause lang sa ka mag-quarantine kag Facebook no mga tulo ka adlaw. Ana lang siguro no kay ngano man because especially this time nga overwhelming kaayo nga daghan kay mo change of profile pic kay kandila na ba, and it is threatening us. COVID is no longer outside the home, it's getting inside us. 'Di ba? Inside the home ba? So, meaning, again, kung panalitan overwhelming na, you can opt not to browse for a while, for a day, for weeks. That depends on whether if you are helped by that, then go on with that. If you are not helped, kay nawa imong connection with them, then do not do that. So, depende gina siya on what can serve you well ba.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you very much, Doc.
Mm.
There's a question from Sir J.R. Granada, Doc.
Mm.
He said, is there a difference between clinical depression and normal depression? If there
Okay.
is. And na ba dyan
Okay.
normal depression?
Okay, sige. Now, clinical depression is a more severe depression. Kana bang kinahanglan na gyud kag doktor ba, no? Nga paimnon kag tambal because it's already hormonal. Depression is hormonal, and then once ingon ana na ang mahitabo, it would really affect also the brain chemistry. Now, because of that, you need medication. You have to go to a psychiatrist who can really give you prescription. Now, because that this is a more severe kay clinical depression man siya, mo nang kinahanglan ka nga mo recognize sa idea ba nga naa ka ani nga kondisyon. And kani nga condition can be treated. And with your intention to be treated, it can be treated. Now, while you are having medication, you go to a psychologist para at least makadevelop ka og new routine while the medication is going on. Kay makapa-up man nga mga medication. Now, mo na clinical depression. Ang imong gipasabot siguro nga normal depression, baby kana ng mga expressions ba nga, ay di ko mo adto kay I'm depressed. Ana no murag ambot na feeling low kay kustanan. So mo siguro na imong pasabot ha. Pero man-normal depression siya, ma-clinical depression sa unsa, these are depressions gihapon. So again, because this is depression, meaning you feel low, you do not get interested with people anymore, you don't want to go out, affected imong appetite, taghan ba ang nahimong negative effects. Man-normal siya sa uban or ma-clinically depressed na siya, still you have to do something about it by recognizing it so you would know what to do next. Thank you for that, Sir JR.
Another question, Doc. How about for those teachers who have a lot of problems at home and it's affecting their job when they go back to the school? It's also affecting other colleagues. So what can we possibly advise them or what can we possibly do to help them? Because sometimes it's really hard to put a borderline between office and school and home. So whatever problems that they have at home, they will bring it in the school.
Yes. Mauna nga it's not really also kana bitong helpful nimo nga mag-expect ka nga mabili nimo imong problema sa inyo because you are the same person. Manakas inyo na manakas sa eskwelahan. Now, remember that kaning negativities ba contagious? Kana lang magmuro ka, okay? Maka-affect na sa demeanor sa uban. Muna, it's really good to have people smiling around ba? Now, kung pananglitan ang imuhang problema sa balay, severe na bitag kaayo nga you can no longer handle it ba? That is why it is good lagi nga you will have to have someone to talk to, a friend that you trust that your secrets are safe. Second, you also have to listen to the suggestions of others. Kana may uban, maadto ra ka sa imong friend kay audience impact. Pero di ay to, wala to'y bili. Oh, walay bili ang ilahang istorya ba? Okay? Now, you also have to recognize nga if it is very serious already, seek professional help. Okay, something serious is going on inside that you may have suppressed or you continued to deny. These are defense mechanisms, manggod, just to act normally ba. Pero deep inside, it's killing you. Mo nang recognize and it's okay nga you have a problem that you know para at least ba matabangan ka. Kaya dili man tanan nga kung super teacher ka or mura kag super mom ka and so on perfecto ka nga di na lang ka ma-down sa problem. Naaman tay ingon ana vulnerability man na nato. Okay? So again, if you have problems, please do what I suggested kay that might help. No guarantee, but that might help.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you, Doc. There's another question from Chelsea Irican. Is there any other ways to recognize depression aside from clinical consultation? Some couldn't afford or is timid to express their feelings.
Couldn't afford to express their feeling. That is why, mo ni siyang reason nga nung nakakam up kog journal. Kaya ways to recognize depression ba other than clinical consultation. Tanawa your mind and look around what are your behaviors na. Okay, if you are losing appetite, you don't get interested to the things that you were interested in the past. If, for example, di na ka makikistorya, example, luya na ka, kung pagani pagmata, ganahan ka matugbalik, these are actually depressions na symptoms. Okay? Now, kung gusto ka nga matambalan na, tanawa sa social media, there are a lot of articles there na ni-suggest what you can do. Kay grabe kay ang social media na ay mga books sa bookstore kanang mga self-help or walay prompts kanang ikaw ra mag-notebook ka palit ka sa bookstore o notebook you write there, but then when you write sa journaling tanawa nga di siya paragraph, itemize them. Okay, so you can start there expressing it. Okay, some couldn't afford or timid to express their feelings man, so isuwat unya try to empower yourself nga naalang gyud kay maistoryahan maski usa. Kay once you start writing it, at least pa-express naman na nimo unya saying it. And then tanawa kay basin na kay nasuwat sa imong journal nga di na kang mauwaw mo share sa uban. So start from there. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much, Doc.
Someone here is telling me I
Doc
talk to
has
myself a lot.
do-it-yourself
That's
journals
good. Mm-mm.
copyrighted this year, on defeating anxiety, on overcoming depression, and on overcoming stress. So we have another question from Imelda Lagunzad Cajegas. I talk to myself a lot. Is that normal or is it a red flag?
Ma'am Imelda, I also do talking to myself a lot. So kung buang manggani ni number 1 ko in line. Okay? So it's okay to talk to yourself because we call it nga kanabang it's a talk therapy also towards the self, not to someone. So sometimes when I get problematic, I always say to myself, hala, oy, dili kinahanglan kay mo naman ni akong nabuhat. Ana ba? Just do not show anyone that you are doing it. Okay, you might be misinterpreted and you might not be ready by their reactions. Okay, so when you talk to yourself, just be alone and then consider it nga talking to self is your me time kanang ikaw rang usa. Ha? So it's okay. I cannot say whether it's normal or not, pero for me it's okay if that helps. All right? Okay.
Okay, thank you, Doc. Yeah, I also do that at times. But I make sure that nobody's watching me. Okay, do we have any other questions or
Yeah.
clarifications from the group chat, from the comment section? Okay, there are no other questions. So thank you very much, Doc. And with the sharing that Dr. Michelle has done this afternoon, thank you is the best prayer to utter. Miss Anne? But this gratitude still needs to be expressed into action, or else this will be metaphorically compared to wrapping a present and not giving it. So as a sign of our gratitude to Doc Michelle, we will be giving her a certificate of recognition aside from the token that we'll be providing. So let me read to you the certificate of recognition. Can we flash it on screen? Okay, so Republic of the Philippines, Department of Education, Region 7, Central Visayas, Division of Mandaue City. Mandaue City, certificate of recognition is awarded to Dr. Michelle Abelia Siliona for being the resource speaker during the webinar on psychological first aid and psychosocial support for the school heads and teachers held in the division of Mandaue City on September 24, 2021. Given this 24th day of September 2021 at Mandaue City, Cebu, Philippines. Signed, Nympha D. Bongo, EDD, CESU 5, Schools Division Superintendent. Thank you very much, Doc Michelle. So let's give a virtual clap for Doc Michelle. Now in life, there is always a beginning and an end. That's why there is sunrise and sunset. And as the saying goes, or the song goes, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. To formally close our program this afternoon, let us all welcome our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Leia Bueno Apao. By the way, okay, so before we're going to have Ma'am Apa, we still have a difficult time contacting her. She's actually evaluating the schools in the OPCRF and SBM. So we would like to thank the focal person of the division office for our webinar this afternoon for making this happen. Our senior education program specialist for social mobilization and networking, Dr. Mylene S. Ordelia. Okay, our head as well of SGOD, Dr. Adeline Luares. Okay, the EPS for social mobilization and networking, EPS 2, we have Mr. Renante Necesario, who is preparing some documents as well for the completion of this webinar. I know some of the teachers, if not all, are really enjoying, they're learning a lot from Doc Mitch. Okay, so we already have here Sir Renante. Thank you very much, sir. And by the way, I hope the teachers have prepared for our competition for the World Teachers Day. September 5 up until October 5 is our World Teachers Day, World Teachers Celebration. And we will be culminating that on October 6, 10 a.m. here in our division. And we have different contests. For the elementary, we have the music video contest. That's going to be by district. And for the secondary, we have the documentary. Okay, the documentation of our teachers. Well, thank you very much for the JCO, Sir Nasi. Paris akong coffee there niya. Coffee nga what I said. Okay, so I hope that you are going to choose the best videos, because the 10 finalists for our videos will be posted on our page, DepEd Tayo Mandaue City Facebook page, and you will be asked to vote for your favorite videos. And then on the culmination day, we are going to award the top 3 winners for each category. Okay, so I hope everyone will be joining us on that day, because we will be giving away raffle prizes, door prizes, some as a door jump, doorknob. O gubay ba?
Second part.
And today is our psychological first aid for the teachers and the school heads. Next week will be for our learners. That's going to be on the 28th. Right. Okay, that's good. And for our schools who have not been visited yet, okay, just stay calm, have a splendid weekend, go to the beach, relax. You will have your time to be evaluated next week. For those who are already done with the evaluation, congratulations. We really have seen your effort, and we really congratulate all the teachers and the school heads and the supervisors as well for giving their time and making sure that our schools are properly managed. Okay? And our school heads are getting a VS and or an outstanding for their OPCRF. Okay, so next week, by the way, we're going to have our regional competition, regional launch closing for the World Teachers Day. That's going to be on the October 5th, right? October 5th. So please watch that. The national closing of the World Teachers Month will be October 4, right? Or 5. October, national.
Region.
Region.
Region 7.
Region 7 will be hosting the National World Teachers Day celebration on October 5. Our division will be having it on October 6. Okay, for those who would like to have their greetings, you may type in your greetings in the chat box while we are waiting for the closing remarks. So to my friends and my classmates, hello. To Mantawi Productions, I hope that we are going to have our show already, no? Pag ito maka-show. From Sang Sasa JP, good afternoon. Jessa Purog watching from Magika ES. Hello, Magika ES. We will be visiting your school on Tuesday, I guess. Nakuha na kung sa TV. From Nenay Neo, good afternoon. Watching from West 2 Secondary, Canduma National High School. From Ma'am Nena Buntilao. Hi, ma'am. So sa West 1, batang number 1. Sa West 2, batang number 2. Okay, so now I guess our next part, we're now proceeding with our next part. Now to formally close our program, let us all welcome our Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Leia Bueno Apao.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. To our Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Nympha D. Bongo, to our Attorney Marinel Oro, Sir Arnel Cortez, Ma'am Eileen, to, of course, our very conversant speaker, Dr. Michelle Celiona, to our school heads, our teachers, to everyone who is in attendance this afternoon, mayong hapon kanatong tanan. I am here live from Canduman National High School for an equally important engagement, especially the evaluation of our school heads, and of course the for the entire dimensions that our school head and our the members of the teaching staff or non-teaching staff uh, performing their job. So, muna na ako diri. So, thank you so much, everyone. And according to Ralph Waldo Emerson, the true test of civilization is not the census, nor the size of cities, nor the properties, but the kind of people the country turns out. I am motivated to share this with you because I know that this psychological first aid and psychosocial support webinar for the school heads and teachers will really give us or pave our way to do things, good things, and significant things or practices that our learners must also have to practice, especially this time of pandemic. I know that we are bombarded with so many challenges and lots of things that we need to cope up, especially doing our job every day, that we are threatened by COVID-19 pandemic, and now niabot na siya Delta no na pay Lambda. But then because of our desire and zeal really to move forward and to brave whatever storms, whatever hardships that we are going to uh, nga at atong yung i-fight, no, that we're going to combat every day. We are here doing everything that can help our learners to cope up also with all those challenges. So it must start from all of us, and I know that through our collaboration and through our partnership with the influence also of our school heads and our teachers, I know that we can we will overcome all of this. So muna siya nga pasalamat kaayo ang DepEd Mandawi City Division sa natong tanan, especially our speakers, our organizers, and of course to the leadership of our schools division superintendent Dr. Nympha D. Bongo. It takes a village to educate a child. And of course, with our collaboration, our strong tandem or partnership in the delivery of our the different programs and projects here in Mandawi City Division, we can always say that I am Mandawi bringing the best. So with that note, I would like to, on behalf of our schools division superintendent, Dr. Nympha Bongo, and the entire personnel, both teaching and non-teaching of DepEd Mandawi City Division, I will take off my hat and salute all of you for uh, going the extra mile, getting out of your shell and go the extra mile of our job. I know that right after this webinar, we will have lots of things to do to implement what we've learned from this webinar. And I know that you will become the best influence to our learners. So thank you very much, everyone. Congratulations and have a great day. Stay safe and mabuhay. I am Mandawi, bringing the best. Thank you. To God be the glory.
Thank you very much, Dr. Leah B. Apal. Let's give Ma'am Leah a virtual clap. Fresh from Kanduman National High School. Now, with grateful hearts, we draw this program to a close. This is your host, Mr. Arnel P. Cortez, leaving you with this quote from Albus Dumbledore. Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if one only remembers to turn on the light. Have a great day and have a splendid day, a weekend ahead. I am Mandawi, bringing the best. Thank you, babe, for the love. Okay, so please send us your greetings, your messages. Baby, thank you for the love. Nagbugna lang yung mga tinanong. Okay, so send us your greetings. Hello to Labugan National High School, to all the teachers there. Congratulations, Sir Eli. You know, manager kagahapon, sir. Ma'am Lettucey, God bless us all. Wow, the very blooming with the love life, no? Ma'am Floridic Bate, thank you so much, Mandawi City Division. Hello to Ma'am Sherilyn Pancho. I really appreciate this webinar as I find it personally enriching. Wow. It is also enriching and invigorating as well, no? And I'm so happy with this webinar because of this. Thanks for the love, babe. Ma'am Balen, piti kayo oy among MC. Oh, thank you very much, ma'am. Ikaduhara jud ko nimo, ma'am. First runner up ra ko, ma'am. Advance happy birthday to Ma'am Balen. I know she will be celebrating her birthday next week on the 28th. Okay.
Para sa tong
Ma'am
learners.
Elvira Ornopia, thank you very much, Dr. Leah Apal. God bless us all. By the way, thank you very much to our heads for making this event possible. Our SDS, Dr. Nympha Bongo, ASDS, Dr. Leah Apal, SDOD Chief, Dr. Adeline Luares, OICCID Chief, Dr. Jaime Piroylan. From Sir John Paul Tige, mabuhi ang atong division sa Mandaue City. Sakto nyo ka, sir. Mabuhi. Di dito magpakapatay-patay, sir, no? Let us be alive and kicking. Ma'am Marilyn Lim, good webinar. Ganhamig best, ma'am, no? We hope that we will make this more enriching, no? From same school, but it's Ma'am Lim o si Ma'am Pancho. Sir Jonathan Espinosa, thank you. You're welcome, sir. Thank you for the love.
Hashtag thank you for the love.
Team E and F are watching. Hello, Cons Glidisa, C. Espina, Gotsoko.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching. From Miss Ivy Joy Leopoldo, thank you, Mandaue City Division. You're welcome, ma'am. Uy, thank you, Baya.
Okay, thank you, Spiel.
Ano naman last? From Sir Terence or Mas Terence, thank you. It helped us a lot. We hope that we can provide you with another set of psychosocial or psychological first aid webinars, no, like this. Watching from Compostela National High School. Wow, Sir Salidaga. Ma Marietta Bacalso, have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you so much, Mandaue City Division. Yeah, enjoy your weekend. You really have to unwind a bit, no? Go to the beach, go somewhere else, relaxing, climb a mountain. Okay. Have a camp, no? One last greeting. From Nerissa Pilapel. Thank you so much for having this webinar because it helps us a lot, teachers, especially at this time of pandemic. So thank you very much, everyone, for all your comments. Just post it. For all the things that you would like to suggest, just post it. If you have concerns, post it. We will be reading them and providing you with answers if we can. Again, enjoy the rest of the day. Have a splendid weekend. I am Mandaue, bringing the best.
I am Mandaue, bringing the best. I am Mandaue, bringing the best. I am Mandaue, bringing the best. Ideal the pet Mandaue, bring the best in you.